Today we are going to talk about in this particular session about the neural networks, and you know that the lot of problems that we have into terms of the computation that can be solved using this particular kind of tool. So let us start by just giving you a small description of a small problem that I have. Let's assume that this is the data that is given to you. Okay, so can you understand this data? What is, because till now you may have done a lot of artificial intelligence ML kind of things. So can you understand this particular data? Let me explain you for you. So let's assume that there is some object. Okay, and you don't know that what is the color inside it. Let's assume that you are onto the some new planet where you there is some kind of fruit, and in the fruit, if you cut the fruit, the some colors comes out of that. So the color could be, let's assume that the color could be either green or it could be red. Okay, so but outside you cannot see that what is inside. Then how would you proceed? You may be trying to find out that is there any way to find out some other properties, because you ultimately want that for the whether this inside thing is red or green, but you don't have direct access of that. So you measure some of the properties, and let's assume that you measure weight, you measure what is the diameter, what is the effective diameter, and let me call it, let's assume that the first thing is x1 and let me call this second thing is x2. So in this particular table, just for the sake of understanding, let's assume that x1 and x2, these are the two features, two properties associated with the items. And and for some of the item, because you know that some of the example for some of the things the answer, right answer should need to be given. So let's assume that a few items were there for which you have actually measured that what is the value of x1 and x2, and you have placed into this particular table. So for example, you find out something was 4 gram and 7 centimeters, 7 millimeters, whatever it be, and the inside color was green. Similarly, you find out something 8 9 and the inside was green, something 7 1 inside was red. So this is what the data is. Let's assume that I'm just trying to give you this kind of understanding. However, it is not needed. So you understand this particular table. So any question on this? Everybody understand that a table is given to me. Then what I into the machine learning domain? What is the into the ML domain? What we wanted to do? We want to do this. That if a new item comes, let's assume that its weight is x1 is equal to say 11 and x2 is equal to say 9. I want to ask that what is the color of inside of this particular item without cutting it. Okay, so how can you proceed it? Everybody understand this problem? Any questions on that? So I request you to please be connected with me, and whenever I'm asking some question, please type yes, otherwise I would be kind of not able to understand, because I know that this is a challenging time, and but please type yes if you understand. Okay, so I would be very happy to see this all these things. All right, so this is the data that is given to me. A new data item is coming and I want to predict that whether it is green or red. This is what my task is. So how can I proceed? This is the question you are solving from, I think, in the last 2-3 days. How would you go ahead with this? So one thing that you can directly see that the data had two attributes. So it is a two-dimensional data. Why don't you let's analyze the data, how this particular data is. So let's visualize this data. First thing is to understand that how the data is. So if on the x-axis I plot the x1, on the y-axis if I plot x2 as feature and put all these points. For example, this point is a 10 9, so I think 10 and 9, this may be the point. Okay, it is a green point. So for example, this is 1 2 is red, so I think this is the point, 1 2 is red. So you plotted this. When you plot this, what kind of understanding you get? You understand that looks like that if somebody can draw a line on this. Okay, if I have an equation of the line, and let's say whatever equation of this line is, then if a new point somebody asking, for example, whatever point I was asking, let's assume that this is the point for which, so I can find out whether this point is above this particular line or below this particular line. If it is below this line, then definitely it is red, otherwise it is green. Make sense? So ultimately, my problem actually reduces to find out this particular equation of this particular line. Can somebody give me the equation of this particular line? Then I can solve this thing. Okay. So essentially, we have actually discovered that this particular data is linearly separable. This is a technical term, that it's linearly separable. Okay. and we want to find out that what are the parameters. So let's assume that somebody gives me this equation 2x1 plus 3x2 minus 25 greater than 0. Then it is green, otherwise it is red. Let's assume that somebody told me. How to find out these values is again our task, and we would be discussing in much detail. Let's assume that somebody give me that these are the parameters. Some equation of this line actually somebody gives me. It is 2x1 plus 3x2 minus 25. This is the equation of the line. So if the value is greater than this, then definitely the point is actually above, because if x1 and x2 are such that they can satisfy this line, then the value would be 0. If the point is such that if point is above, then the value would be positive, otherwise the value would be negative. Let's assume that green is actually positive class and red is actually in -1, negative class. So this can be done. Can you understand this part? That if my data is linearly separable, data is linearly separable, and I can find out this equation, then for any new given point, I can tell what should be the color. Okay, then I need not to have this table. This table is actually going to give me all the understanding about this particular equation. If I have this equation, then I can use this equation, and then for any new given point, I can find out that what is the classification for this. Make sense? Everything right? Make sense? Yes?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Everything.
All right. So, so this is the scenario in which we are. Our data is linearly separable. So there is a line. And somebody has given me this equation. How to find out this, we will be discussing very soon. So if a new point comes, for example, 3, 2 comes. Okay, let me see that it is into the data. I think 3, 2 is not into the data. So you can see that it is 1, 2, 3. I think 3, 2 would be here. It should be red. Make sense? So let us try to see that if 3, 2 comes, how would you determine that what is the color? You would put into this equation 2 multiplied by x1. x1 is 3. So you put 3 plus 3 multiplied by what? 2. 2 minus 25. Can anybody tell that what is the answer? Okay, it is, I think, how much it is? Can anybody please tell? Minus 13. Okay, minus 13. And since it is a negative less than 0, so therefore I would say tell that it is a red point. And you can see that this is a red point. So this kind of understanding that given the items, what is that given the value of x1, this is x1 is equal to 3 and x2 is equal to 2, I am going to put into the equation. So I can tell that looks like that there is something is going to be multiplied by this. So I can draw a line. I say that there is something multiplied on this. Let me just clear it. So what I wanted to tell that that this value is actually multiplied by 2. This value is multiplied by 3. And then there is another value that is minus 25. And they are actually added. And then then I'm going to do a thresholding on this side, trying to see that what is the sign of that. This is what we are doing. Yeah, this is what we are doing. So can I draw this circuit? Can I draw this diagram for this particular line of equation? For this linear equation, can I draw this this diagram? Yes, yes or no? Yes. So this particular thing that actually I discussed just now, that is a kind of visual representation of the linear equation. I say in this way. Do you agree with me? I say that it is a visual representation of the line. Make sense? Okay. Interestingly, there is a name also into the computer science domain. There is a name given to this particular kind of representation, and the name is perceptron. So today we wanted to study the first thing, that what is a perceptron. So you understand what is a perceptron? What is a perceptron? It's a linear decision boundary, because we have used this particular thing. This was the linear decision boundary. We have used it to find out the classification of the new points. So it is a linear decision boundary. Make sense, everybody? Make sense? It is a linear decision boundary. So what is perceptron? This is a perceptron. Perceptron is a linear equation, linear decision boundary. Perceptron is a linear decision boundary. So this is what the perceptron is. So if you are with me, then I can ask a very simple question with you. That design, can I ask this question? Can I ask this question from you? That design a perceptron. Look, these how these fancy names confuse us. Design a perceptron for the data given in table that we have seen just now. So, can you solve this particular problem? Yes or no? Everybody understand that? Can you solve it?
Yes.
Yes, because ultimately this means that find out this equation of this particular line. If you can find out the equation of this particular line, then you can put the value. For example, minus 25 is here, 3 is here, and 2 is here. So you can design a perceptron. Make sense? And perceptron is nothing more than a linear decision boundary. Now the question remains that how to find out appropriate the value, how to find out these 2, 3 and minus 25. This is a very interesting question. And this is called the parameter or weights. These values are called parameter or weights. And how to find out these parameters, how to find out these appropriate parameters is an important issue. We are going to see that how to find out this. Till now, everybody with me? That given a data, I want to find out a perceptron means what? I want to find out a linear decision boundary, and that I would be representing in this way so that everybody get confused and they are thinking that I'm very intelligent. Okay, makes sense. Ultimately, I am going to find out this linear equation, but I would be representing in this way to find out something. It's very simplified concept. Make sense? Okay. So how to find out this? So there is a settled method for this, and this is called the perceptron training rule. So again, there is a name because perceptron we want to design. So we want to design the perceptron training rule. How to train this thing? Okay. So the perceptron training rule is this. Okay. So right now it may be try to focus on this. It's very easy. I would be telling you that it's very easy. What to do? You have a table. Okay. This algorithm is going to what it does. That it tells that you want to find out these things, you want to find out these things. So let me give some name. It is W0, this is W1, this is W2. W2 is associated with the X2, W1 is associated with the X1, and W0 is actually free parameter. Make sense? So I say that how many parameters I have? W0, W1 and W2, and you please know that I have to converse with these values 2, 3 and minus 25. So initially what is the value I don't know. So algorithm says that you randomly pick any weights. Random weights. Okay, let's assume that. Can anybody tell that what weight should I take? What is the value of W0? Can you tell me any random number? Please type any number. That would be a random number. Yeah, 32. That's it. 32. What is the value of W1? How can I start? Can anybody tell? Yeah. 20. Yes. Next value, W2, it is 4. Ultimately, what I want, W0 should be minus 25, W1 should be 2, and this value should be 3. Ultimately, I want this. But right now, I started, the algorithm says that we begin with the random weights. Everybody understand this thing? Okay, so then if it is like this, then these values are going to construct into this way that it is 20x1 plus 4x2 plus 32. This is what the equation is. If it is greater than 0, then I would say green plus 1, green. Otherwise, I would say minus 1. Okay, this is what my equation is. So you use this equation on the database. So something would be right, something would be right. Some places it is going to do some error. Yeah, makes sense? Makes sense? It is some places it is going to do some error. So for those items where it is going to do the error, I am going to pick them. I am going to pick these items where there was an error. And I use this to modify the weights. I use these things to modify the weights. So what it is telling, for each misclassified examples, you update the weights into this particular, using this particular formula. What is this formula? So there is a formula, we'll discuss in detail. There is some formula that tells that use this formula to modify the things. So let me remove this. So what would happen? that if you use this formula, this 32 would change, may say 30, this 20 would change, may 25, this 4 may change minus 6, it may change like this. Then you use this equation and you again do this, you do this multiple number of time, and after some time you are going to converge. Make sense? Okay. Until all the training examples are correctly classified. You do this because your weight has now changed. With the change weight, you are going to do multiple number of times, multiple iterations, and at the end, your things are going to converge. So I have not talked about this particular equation. You look into that. So whether the idea is clear to everybody? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If anybody has confusion, please let me know. Very simplified thing. You start by any random value. So I'm telling that you start by any random value. These are the random values. Use this as an equation. Apply this into your database. Find out where there is a problem. For those things, you modify the weights so that new weights you are going to get. You do it multiple number of time. Okay, you do it multiple number of time. So what is going to happen? You do it multiple number of time. So using this particular formula, what is this formula we are going to discuss?
Sir,
From this weight, how
in
you are
one
going to get
iteration,
the new weights. We are going to discuss whether this idea is clear. Can
sir,
anybody-
in one iteration, whether one weight
Can
is
you write
changing
yes?
or
Many of
all
the people
three
should
weights are
write yes.
changing.
Idea is clear or not? Yes?
Sir, can you hear me?
I
Not
think
clear?
he cannot hear it. 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. So if it is not clear, please let me know. I can explain once more because okay, let's me. Should I explain once more? Can you write? Yes.
Yes,
Sir,
Explain
can
once
you
more.
hear me?
Can you type like this?
explain.
Okay. Yeah. So
Sir, in one
let us start
iteration,
from
only
zero.
one weight is
I'm just
changing
going to
or
give you one more.
Hello?
Okay. What I had a database. Is this clear? Everybody please write yes that you understand that you have a database. Okay. I need your participation. Otherwise, explanation would go wrong. Make sense? Everybody, I have a database. Everybody clear about this? Okay. This is the starting thing.
Sir, please
Then I
explain.
have weights. What is the weight of W0? What is the weight of W1? What is the weight of W2? What is W1, W0, W2? In this equation, this was the equation that we had. Here, this is W0, this is W1, and this is W2. What is W1? It is 2. What is W2? It is 3. This is yes, madam. No, I cannot, madam, here. I just told them that if they ask the question, they can type. Yeah. Everybody, I just request you that I'm not listening anything and I would not talk you in that interactive way. You please type. Okay. Whatever question you have, please type. Okay. So I wanted to tell you that I'm sorry that I could not take the live voice queries here. So is it fine that you understand that what is the value of W0, W1, W2? I want to find out what is the right value. The algorithm says that since you don't know, you want to find out these values, you begin with the random weights. Okay. This part is clear? Begin with the random weights. Means what? That W0, you can take 15, W1 is equal to 9, W2 is equal to 11, any weight. Okay. So this is clear? Till now everybody is clear. I need many yes. If you are here, then only I can teach. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, very good. Thank you. So if this is what the weight, then what is the equation? It is 9x1 plus 11x2 plus 15. This is what the equation is. If this value is greater than 0, then I would say that it is green. Otherwise, I would say red. So whatever points are given to me, because in on my database, x1 and x2 values are provided, I can apply this equation to find out that whether they are green or red, whether they are green or red, whether they are green or red. I can find out for all these items. Okay, I can find out all these is using this formula only. Using this formula, make sense? Yes. Can anybody write yes? Instead of writing yes, you just write 5. I think that is fine. Yeah. You can write like yes. You can find out that what is, because I have equation, I can find out that what is whether it is yes or no. I can find out using this equation. But you know that what is the actual thing? Actual thing also you know that it was a green, but it was red. But this was red and this was green. So if this was green, let's assume actual thing is also given to you in our database. These are the actual values given to you. and you apply the formula to find out that what is the weight. So some places there is a problem. For example, here is a problem. Red becomes green, green becomes red. Some places there could be problem. This is clear? Till now this is clear? We started with the random weights. We devised a formula. Using the formula, we find out that what is the classification of the items. And since we know that what is the actual items, we know that these are the places where there is a problem. Okay, till now everybody with me? Yeah, I need yes. Yeah, now see. I use these misclassified examples. Each misclassified examples, I'm going to use these misclassified examples to change these weights. So I'm going to change these weights. Use these things to change these weights. What would be new weight? It would be clear to you when we would open this formula. But right now, let's understand that this 15 becomes 9, 9 becomes 12, 11 becomes -6. So I'm going to change these values. Okay. For each misclassified example, what you are going to do, you are going to modify the weights. So your weights are modified. So if your weights are modified, then again you can use this modified weight to find out a new formula. That is I think 12x1 plus I think -6. 12x1 minus 6x2 plus 9 is equal 9 if it is greater than or 0. Then you can use this formula to again go ahead onto the same line. So all training examples are until correctly classified. You apply the same thing on the again data and then again modify this weights to another weights and then you do multiple number of time. This part is clear? Okay, this part is clear? Yeah. So multiple number of times. So how to modify this? I'm not opening this. Please don't go into that detail. That how it is modified so that everything becomes correct. This is again a question. We are going to address next. For right now, I'm only okay if you understand this part. Okay, that in this way I'm going to go and do the things. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, I'm very happy that you understood this. So okay. So now let us go and see that, okay, sir, you have told me a method, but how come this method is going to converge? How come this particular equation is going to give me the right set of values? Because I'm telling that I started with the random values of W, then again some change value, some again change value. How this is going to give me -25, 2 and 3, whatever value, I'm not sure about this. 2, 3, -25, how I'm going to get this value over here at the end? What is the rational bias on this? So this question comes in your mind that why would this strategy converge? Okay, so let me tell you what. To understand this concept, so I'm going to answer this very interesting thing. So any questions if you have, please ask. Any questions you have? No questions? No questions? Yeah, so let's start. Okay. So please type yes and no because that is needed. Okay. Yeah. So why this strategy would converge? Okay. Okay. So just focus on the misclassified things where the problem is. Okay. Where is the misclassification? Just focus on the places where there is a misclassification. So let's assume that the items are positive and negative. Okay. Item are positive and negative. When the item is +1, then it is misclassified if you are going to give me the classification as -1. Okay, let's assume that green is +1 because here the things are coming into the +1 as a numerical only. Numerical we can interpret. So red, let's assume the red is equal to -1. Okay, let's assume this is what we have. So problem is there when positive +1 is actually told as a -1. Make sense? Or the problem is this that okay, let me draw in this way. So item could be positive, okay, and your system is predicting. So I'm writing in this way. See this. I'm telling that what is the value of y. What is the y hat means what is its prediction. Positive item prediction is positive. For positive item prediction could be negative. For negative item prediction could be negative. And for negative item prediction could be positive. These are the 4 cases that are possible. Yeah. Where is the problem? When you are telling positive item as a positive item, it's okay. When you are telling negative item as a negative item, it's okay. because this is what is expected from you. But when you are telling positive item as a negative item, it's a problem. When you are telling negative item as a positive item, then it is a problem. Any questions on this? Yes? Okay. Two cases, there is a problem. So I'm just going to focus on them. Okay, let me focus on them only. So let me remove everything. Let me remove everything from here. Let me remove everything. And I just say that right things are removed. Only the places where is a problem I am going to have. So these are the two places where we have a problem. When the positive things is negative and negative thing is positive. These are the two cases we have a problem. Okay. Let us see separately. When positive thing is told negative. Okay. So can you remember the equation? Equation was W1 W. Let's assume W0. Okay. Let me write like this. Equation is W0 plus W1x1 plus W2x2. Okay. My system is telling negative. Okay. If I increase the weight, if this W, I increase W0 plus something plus W1 plus something. If I increase it, W2 plus something. Okay. X2. What would happen? Because this is a linear combination of the items. If I increase something, some amount, that is, I can say delta 1, delta 2, delta 3. Let's assume that I'm going to change something. If I'm going to add this, what would happen? That right now my thing are negative. If I increase these value, it would become positive. Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Yeah. So when I am doing, okay, when I am giving -1, then I should increase the weights. Make sense? When I am going to give negative, when I am going to give positive, but the item is actually negative. So at that case, I should say that W0 minus something plus W1 minus something plus W2 minus W3 something. If I decrease the weights, then the summation, whatever summation is here, actually reduces. If the value reduces, then it becomes negative, because value reduces. If the weights reduces, then the overall summation can be negative, because I want the negative to be, because for the item which is negative, this value should be negative. For the item which is negative, this equation should give me negative. This equation should give me negative. Okay, for the negative item, this equation should give me negative. For the positive item, this should give me positive. But there is a problem. Because of this problem, my equation, whatever weight I have, my equation is going to give me negative. So what should I do? I should increase the weight. Here, what I should do? I should decrease the weight. That's it. Make sense? Make sense? Yeah. Okay. Everybody. So I'm done on these lines. So let me quickly remove this thing and tell you some more small mathematics, and very, very small and very elegant mathematics on this. So I say that if I say that this is my target value, this is my output value. Okay, this is my target value, because I wanted that its output should be +1. This is my output value. So can you tell me what is the value of target minus output? Target minus output. So for this particular case, what is the target minus output? Can you tell me that what is the target minus output? Target is +1. Minus of output is -1. It is going to be 2. Okay. Make sense? So this value is 2. In this particular case, what is the target minus output? Can you give me? It is target is -1. Minus output is +1. It is -2. It is -2. So here it is -2. Okay. Okay. So let me just remove many things. I need only this thing only. that what is the target minus output. Let us go inside this particular formula. Let us go inside this particular formula. Okay, in this formula there is a term target minus output. Okay, so this item is positive and this item is negative. For, I think I must not have increased. I think here we wanted to increase. When the item was positive, I was telling -1. When the item was negative, I was telling +1. In this case, I wanted to decrease the value. So this value is positive. If Wi, whatever weight you have, for example, weight is equal to 5, then you are telling it is 5 plus, then it is 5 plus, what is this? Eta. There is some parameter that I say that, so that it doesn't increase very much, I say that I multiply with a constant, and there is target minus output. What is the target minus output? It is positive. So I put a positive number 2 over here, and then xi. Xi is nothing, is again that what is the value of x. So I can also use it's just a dynamic factor. So all the multiplication, if you see that they are actually positive, all the items which are actually here, they are actually, we can assume that they all these items are positive. So ultimately, when I am telling that the positive, I am telling -1 to a positive item, this weight is going to increase. And when the weight is going to increase, we have seen that when the weight is going to increase, my things are going to be corrected. Okay, my weights are going to be classified. This misclassified example would be classified correctly. Make sense? In the case when this misclassification of this kind, that negative item I am going to tell as a positive item, in that case this value is negative, target minus output. So if you look closely, this particular only inside part, if you look closely inside part, this complete thing becomes negative. If this thing becomes negative, then your weight are going to decrease. Your weight is going to decrease. So things that you wanted to do are being encapsulated in this particular equation. So ultimately, whatever you wanted to do, this equation is actually going to do that. But what it is going to do, that for the cases when perceptron was outputting -1, expected output was +1, your weight is going to increase. And when the perceptron was outputting +1, when the target was -1, you are going to decrease the weight. And this increase and decrease is actually going to ultimately affect in this way that your classification for that item is going to be right. So what I am going to do, that for all the data items which are correct, I am not modifying the weights. But for the items which are actually misclassified, for them I am going to modify the weights. So ultimately, what is going to happen, that as the time passes by, all the items are supposed to be correctly classified. Make sense? Can anybody write yes? Yes? Yeah. So to make it more clear, what is n and xi? Okay. What is n and xi? Okay. So actually what is happening now, I have the data that you have seen, that it was x1, x2 and x1, x2, two things were there. So we have seen that my formula was like this, that w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus some w0. So I can also put that into the, you may have heard earlier also that w0 is equal to 1, we add one more item. So these x1 are actually the attributes. So xi's are actually attribute. Okay. Eta is just a constant, and why we are going to have it, because we want to, if I take, for example, if you are into, for example, you are into Delhi, you want to go to Haryana. Okay, you want to go to Haryana. So let's assume that this is what a map given to you. You are at the place A, and this is the place B where you want to go. So these things are going to tell you the direction, that in which direction you have to go. Okay, but if you and they also have a magnitude, and that magnitude may be very large. So if I tell you that go into this particular direction, and you take very large step, what would happen? That you would not reach to the B, you would reach to some D. Make sense? So to control this, that I only take only small steps, I am going to take that multiplied with 0, 0, 1. Whatever step you are going to take, multiply with the 0, 0, 1. So what would happen that in this particular direction, however you wanted to take this thing, but you are going to take only this much direction. So you would be near to this particular point. Then here also you take the small steps, and at the end you would be, after many steps, you would be able to reach to the point B. However, it takes lot of time. But if you don't do this, then from D you have to go here again. Then from here you go here. You would not be able to reach to that particular place. Make sense? This is the importance of the eta. Make sense? Tushar, make sense? Tushar, is it possible to say yes? Very small interval. Tushar, it is a multiplying factor that actually, that is when multiplied with these numbers, make the complete quantity a small quantity. Why small quantity is needed? Because if this quantity is very large, what would happen that actually, if this quantity is very large, what would happen that you may go take larger steps, and then you may fail to converge. So this is the problem. Make sense? Yeah. So any more questions? Any more questions that I missed? Yeah. So now I want to give you the visual interpretation. So this was the data that we had. Everybody ready? Please, once again, let's revisit our problem. This was the data we have. Can you tell yes? Yeah. We started with some weight. Let's assume that eta is 0.01. It is an arbitrary number. Okay. I have taken, let's assume that eta is 0.01, some number. I started with the weight. What is the weight? Let's assume the weight be W0 is equal to 0.5, W1 is equal to 0.5, W2 is equal to 0.5. Let's assume that I have taken like this. Everybody, how come this value came? Randomly. So I put 0.5. Okay. How many errors? How many points we have error? 7 points where we have error. Okay. Then I have created the equation, finding out that what places there is a problem. Then I have modified the weight, and now weights become this. W0 is equal to 0.36. From 0.5 it becomes 0.36. W1 becomes minus 0.120. 0.10. You can see that how the values are changing. And when the value changes, the number of error here it was 7, then it becomes 6. Number of error is now 6. Can anybody see this? See this? Yes. Then again you would modify the parameters. Again the modify the parameter. 36 becomes 30. This let me. Okay. 36 becomes 30. Minus 12 becomes minus 18.18. Yeah. Minus 1 becomes 0.06. It changes. From 6 errors it becomes 5 errors only. So we keep modifying the weights in this way, and 14 more iterations. All these values are actually real. They are real values that are shown to you. And then you see that error was actually, this was a 7 error, then 6 error. So it was a 7 error, then 6 error. Okay, 7 error, then 6 error, then 5 error, then 4 error, then 5 error, then 4 error. Then 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5, then 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3, then 4. So you can see that error is coming down, going up and up, up, up. After some time it becomes 0. When error becomes 0, we stop. That whatever value we got is the actual value. These are the actual weights that actually we wanted to find out. So they are not minus 225 because multiple lines are possible. But in this way, we can find out a line. Make sense? I'm going to disclose you a very interesting slide next. And this is a very good slide for you. I think you can hear, you can, is delta different from WGS? Yes, delta is, 1 minute. What is the delta? Delta is, okay, delta that we have written over here is this particular part. That how much I'm going to add. Okay, delta was this. Okay, W's are weights. In that weight, how much I'm adding? Vishnu, is it clear? Delta is this part that I wanted to change. Make sense? Vishnu, can you write yes? So this is an example. When the first line, when this is the first line, so let me clear it. So let me give you some more visual interpretation so that you can easily see. When the value is 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 in your table, is delta different from, where is the delta? The delta is different. In your table, where is the delta? .5 to 0.3. Acha, okay. How these values are changing, you are wanted to say? No, same data. The data is going to be remain the same. Okay, let me give you the visual understanding. Okay, now everything would be clear to you. Okay, now let me give you the visual understanding. So everybody see this particular line 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Everybody sees this. So what is the equation of the line? It is 0.5 plus 0.5 x1 plus 0.5 x2 is equal to 0. I want this equation. So here I can multiply with the 2. It becomes x1 plus x2 plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is what the equation of the line is. Okay, this is the equation of the line. It is shown over here. Shown over here. Okay, so if this is the equation of line, everybody please be with me. This is the equation of line. So anything above is actually positive and anything below is negative. Okay, anything below is negative. So you can see that these are the items which were actually negative. This were our data. These items were negative, but they are above the line. Therefore, they have error. So how many points we have error? Can anybody count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at 7 points we have error. This part is clear to everybody. So if I applied this formula on my data, I have discovered that for all the points where there is red, I am going to have the problem. Make sense? This part is clear? Understood? Yes? Okay. Now I'm going to tell you that you are going to use these points to modify this value, and now a new value is given to you 0.36. This new value is given to you. So if you modify this, then this would be the equation. This would be the new equation. Can you see this? So what is the equation of this line? You can construct using the table, because in the table it is given. So this is what the line now it is. Okay, so everything above is actually positive and everything below is actually negative. So if you go like this, then these points are actually negative. These points are actually negative. Okay, so they are okay. These points are positive, they are also okay. But there is a problem. This positive point is below this line. This negative points are above this line. So there is a problem. I have to again change the parameter. Now this is the parameter, the third parameter. How many places there was an error? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 places. Now I would again, everybody understand this, that I would again modify the parameter, and by modifying the parameter, this would be the line. Okay, this would be the line. Here 1, 2, how many errors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 errors. I would again modify 1, 2, 3, 4. I would again modify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again modify, the line becomes this. Again modify, line becomes this. You can see that line becomes this. Again modify, 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 line becomes this. Again the line becomes this. And you can see that this is the right line, because however it is not that suitable line to you, but you may think that everything is actually perfectly classified. However, you wanted this line. We have actually talking about this line, but it is not like that. But for this particular data, it is classifying everything correctly. Make sense? So any questions till now? Clear? Very good. Excellent. So we should write few things. and we should highlight few things, that this decrease and error is actually not gradual. Means sometime there was 7 error, then 5 error, then 4 error, then again 5 error, then becomes 3 error, then become 4 error, like that, and after that it becomes 0. When it becomes 0, I can stop. Okay, so why it is changing? Because it is changing because the things are actually -1 and +1, plus and -1, and there is a lot of difference into that. So one biggest problem with this kind of algorithm is this, that however it can give me the right decision boundary, but this decision boundary is not gradual. Everybody is okay with that? So how to solve this problem? Again, whether it's a problem or not, it is again, we'll be talking later. But right now, if it is okay, then I'm very happy. So everybody understand that the problem with this kind of approach is this, that the conversion is not gradual. Everybody understand this? So number one, everybody appreciate this thing that I can find parameter. Everybody is okay with this? Can you write yes? You can find the parameters, yeah, using the algorithm that we have seen. If data is linearly separable, okay, if data is linearly separable, then I can find. If data is not linearly separable, then what would happen? It would give you best hypothesis. No, how can I know that which one is the best hypothesis? Because then definitely the answer is not this number is not going to reduce to 0. And if this value is not going to reduce to 0, then I don't know where to stop, because sometimes the value is going to reduce, then increase, then reduce, then increase. What is the absolute minimum value? I don't know. Into the case when the data is linearly separable, I know that the minimum value is 0. So I keep doing the thing until I get to the 0. But if data is not linearly separable, there are some red points here, some green points here, then data is not linearly separable. I cannot draw a line on that. Then definitely I would have a problem. I don't know where to stop. Only the problem is I don't know where to stop. What to do in that particular case, we will talk later. Right now we have solved this particular problem for the cases when there is a linearly separability. Make sense? Okay. So should we continue? So this, please keep in this particular point in mind. So it would be, we would be also talking about this thing later. So we have solved a problem, that we have solved a classification problem. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the neural networks. There's some, yes, continue, sir. Okay. So people are actually, now let me behave like a biologist. And so neural network, what is the neural network? People actually wanted to make the computer system in such a way, because ultimately the objective of the artificial intelligence is to make the intelligent system, and we think that the human are intelligent. So naturally people would think that the way in which human brain is actually being provisioned, in the same way, why don't we also provision our computer systems? So this particular thrust actually gave rise to the understanding that somehow we should also mimic the human brain. Our computation should also mimic the human brain. How human brain works, then again, is a big problem. So the first study was actually done by the W. Macaulay around 1943, when they actually deployed some of the electrodes into the brain of a cat and try to find out that how the things are actually there. So they come up that when some kind of architecture, and they told that looks like that it is a layer kind of architecture where one place to another things are actually connected. There are neurons and they are densely connected, and some kind of thing they come up with. This kind of architecture was used to build a system, and the first system that came to our understanding was in 1950s. 2009, the system called Midline somebody has developed, and this was something that actually into the phone line there are echoes, because whenever you are speaking, your voice is also coming back. So they try to remove that. People were thinking at that time, around 1945 or so, that this neural network can solve all the problems that are there. And they actually at that time told that this particular system would be able to understand that what is the human language, and he can conversate with the people. But for very long period, means till 90s, till the end of 90s, 2090s, we were actually not able to deliver much using, because from the 45, you can think that from the 1945 towards the 1990, it's nearly 50 years, people were not able to do much thing. Why it was happening? Because lot of processing power was actually not available. However, the computer was there, but the number of processing powers, number of computations that they can do was actually limited. And also, we did not have a lot of data available to us. For example, even if there is a small kid of 1 year, he has actually spent 365 days. 365 days. In every day, there is 24 hours. In that 24 hours, there is 60 minutes, and 60 minutes, 60 seconds. If he can perceive the images into the 25 images per second, these many images at least he have seen. So whether we have also shown these many images to the computers, for the 3 years, why the number becomes this? Always doing 3D reconstructions. So we don't show those many images to the computers, and we expect that the computer is going to behave good. So that is actually more we are asking from the computers. That's why the computer were not able to do that. But recently, because when the technology advances, we are now able to find out that lot of data, lot of processing powers, and then it again becomes the state of the art. So earlier into the 90s, I by myself had heard many renowned professors saying that neural network is dead. Don't talk about the neural network. And let me tell you that interesting fact. You may be knowing that around 1997, if you know that, there was an architecture of Google LeNet that was proposed into the literature. They have actually proposed. But after that, people actually forget it was something basics of the CNN that was proposed over there. But since the neural networks nobody was using and the processing power was not available, this was actually forgotten. And after that, into 2004, you can see that the most seminal paper of the David Loeb that talks about the shift and surf kind of handcrafted feature. People told that we are going to do everything handcrafted way, and actually they forget about all these things. But for doing this thing for many years, in the 2012 around, the LXNet came, that actually used the same concept that was proposed over here, because in this particular duration, people were actually able to find out more processing power, large number of data, because the challenge was on the ImageNet, that was a very big database. And in this particular duration, people were actually able to find out a lot of processing power and data, and they applied the technique on the same things, similar architecture that was there, and they have drastically reduced the error onto the competition, and they win the competition. And this was a ImageNet competition. You had heard about this ImageNet competition, and they have won on this particular thing. So from there, neural network again started. People are thinking that okay, they can do all these things, and after that, people actually are talking about these days about the deep learning. And you know that the deep learning meaning that we are going to use this neural network very deep. And nowadays, we are into this particular today when I'm going to present this to you. You may be heard about the AlphaFold. And this is one of the one of the greatest invention at this particular time. Means I think it came 2-3 days before. They are going to find they are using neural network architecture. They are able to find out that what is the folding architecture of the proteins, and this is going to revolutionize all the medicines and the things that we are going to do these days. Very recently, you will see a lot of changes out of that. Okay, so this becomes a state of the art these days. So earlier people were thinking that it is died, but now it becomes a state of the art. Let me go and try to see that into the biological neural network. This is something like this. I would not go into the much detail. I would only tell something that there is some cell that actually does the computation. There is some connections, axon, that are actually going to take things out. There is synopsis, means there is connections when dendrites are actually inputs, axon and actually output, but output of one thing is connected to the input of another thing, and when they are connected, that portion is called the synopsis. And when they are connected and one item actually want to send some information to another, it actually sends some other molecules from here to here. So the molecules, there are some molecules that are actually connected. Dendrites are input receptors. So you know that some statistics that humans have expected to have 10 to the power 11 neurons. Again, I'm telling that I'm not that much good on that, but humans have 10 to the power 11 neurons, and they are connected to 10 to the power 4 others, and they work into 10 to the power minus 3 seconds. And you see if these kind of dense connection we can also make in our systems. And our systems, you know that they work 10 to the power minus 6, and their speed is much higher than that. So if these kind of dense connected we can do miracles. So all these things are very interesting that people have actually talked about. So this particular biological one, actually people try to utilize into the computer science domain, and they come up with this kind of architecture that I just told you, that is a perceptron. And in the perceptron, we have seen just now that there is some unit, and this unit actually does the summation of these values. What is the summation? With input values, there are some attributes which are x1, x2, x3 values are coming. They are multiplied with some other weights, W1, W2, Wn, and there is one also W0 weight, and there is some unit that actually find out that what is the summation. Okay. After the summation, we want to apply the thresholding. There is a thresholding unit that applies, and at the output, you get the positive or negative, whether the item is positive or negative. Those things make sense. So these things are actually very interesting, and people over the time, when they had developed all these things, they come up with this idea that only 2 layers deep neural network. However, we are talking about these days as a deep learning, but 2-layer deep neural network can represent any Boolean function. Any Boolean function you can come up that can be represented with the only 2 layers deep neural networks. So a Boolean function, let me tell you that what do you mean by Boolean function? Boolean. Okay, I wrote it wrong. Boolean function means whose output is either 0 or 1. Boolean function 2. Okay, true or false type. So if you have various variables, for example, x1, x2, x3, x4, these variables you have, so you can write any function, for example, minus of x1 and x2 plus x3 or x1 bar. So very complex kind of equation you can write. If you write any kind of complex kind of equation, then this equation, and you say that x1 and x2 take only 0 and 1 values, then this is a Boolean function. So it is a complex function. Can you represent it using neural network? The answer is yes. Only 2 layers are sufficient. How come? This is a big claim to be made. The answer is this, that you can always I think I would not go into the much detail, but into the digital domain, people talk about this special kind of form, that SOAP and POST form. Sum of product of some form. So you can convert this into the sum of product form, and then everything, which every item is actually AND of something, and then out there is R, then again inside there is R, and you can put the things like into this way. So for these items you put 1 layer, then combining these items you put 1 R layers, and then you take the output. So this is a very high level simplified idea. You would be seeing much details into the next session. You have in the second session you would be seeing things into the more details. So very interesting idea that these simplified networks looks like very simplified, but however they have a lot of power in it, and they can represent any Boolean function. Okay, all right. So let us investigate one more thing. So let's investigate this particular circuit. This is again the same circuit. So are you ready? I need you to do some kind of small computation. Yeah. So this is a perceptron. So again the same thing, that there is a minus 30 is a weight, plus 20 is a weight over here, plus 20 is a weight over here. This is x1 and x2. Okay. So if I put 0 and 0, what is the output? Can you tell me what is the output? What is the output? Let me tell you. So it is 0. 0 multiplied by 20 becomes 0. 0 multiplied by 20 becomes 0. And then minus 30. The overall summation is minus 30. When it is minus 30, it is less than 0. Therefore, output is going to be 0. Make sense? Yeah. Can anybody tell yes? Yes? So here the output is 0. So if you understand this, then solve it for me. When it is 0, 1, what is going to be the output? So it is 0. So x1 is 0, x2 is 1. So let me change the pen. Okay. It is 0, it is 1. 0 is multiplied by this becomes 0. 1 is multiplying this plus 20 and minus 30. Again, total summation becomes minus 10. So the output becomes 0 or 1. It is 0. Make sense? Yeah. 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 What is this here? 1, 0. What is the output? Can anybody write? 1, 0. What is the output? Again 0, because again it comes minus 10. 1, 1. What is the output? 1, 1. What is the output? 1, because you 1, 1, it becomes 20. It becomes 20 minus 30 becomes 10 plus 10 becomes 1. So output is 1. So this is what the table I get. So this particular perceptron, gives me the output this, and this is an AND gate. This is an AND gate. So you can treat it as a gate also, logical gate also. Make sense? So this perceptron compute logical AND. If weight is W0 is equal to minus 10, means if you change this minus 30 is minus 10, then the values here actually changes. It becomes 1 and 1, then it gives logical R. When there is a no W2 and W0 is equal to 10 and W2 is equal to minus 20, then it gives logical NOT gate. Strange. And R, NOT, everything is possible. Okay. But however, XOR is not possible. Why XOR is not possible? Because XOR, let's assume that this is what the scenario is. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. In the XOR, what happens? That these values are actually positive. So you cannot draw a single line to find out the decision boundary. XOR is not possible. But you know that XOR, by combining these things, you can find out the XOR. Okay. So once again, let us see this. Ultimately, this kind of a structure that we have, this perceptron that we have, actually represent a decision boundary. It represents a decision boundary. So what is the decision boundary for this? You know that you can use this value to write those equation. What is that equation? It is minus 30 plus 20x1 plus 20x2 minus 30 plus this is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, item is positive. It represents a decision boundary. We know that it represents a decision boundary. This is the equation of the line. Things which are above are actually into the positive region. Things which are below are there into the negative region. Okay, we have seen this multiple number of times, and now you are very much okay with that. Okay, any questions on this? Any question on this? So what I wanted to tell you is this. Please try to understand this. Is a simple fact that as I was telling, that let's assume that this is the point 0, 0. If it is x1, it is x2. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. It is 0, 0. It is 0, 0, 0, 1. It is 1, 1. It is 1, 0. So let me write it. X1, X2, and what is the AND gate? So it is could be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So what I wanted to tell that AND gives 1 here, otherwise 0. So at what place it says 1? At what place is 1? 1, 1. So this is the one. This is the, sorry, 1 minute. Let me put it in green. Okay, this is the green. So can you draw a line? Can you draw a line Answer is yes, you can draw a line over this. Everything up is actually positive, below is actually negative. Make sense? Everybody clear about this? Yeah? Okay. So let me remove this and tell you that was what is OR gate. OR gate is this, that 1 1 1 0, and OR gate is this. So if you want to say that who are positive, that I think 0 0 is negative, all other things are positive. These things are positive. So can you draw a line? Answer is yes, you can draw a line like this. Everything up is positive, otherwise is negative. Make sense? And R. So XR, what is XR? Exclusive R, what is exclusive R? Exclusive R, 1 1 is here, here it is 0 and 0. This is what the logical circuit of the exclusive R. So where it is a positive, can you tell me? It is 0 1. So here it is, okay, and 1 0, those two places, all others are negative. So my question is, can you draw a line over here? So how can you draw the line? First line is this line is wrong, okay. How many lines you can draw? Let me just take the blue color. So you can draw a line this, it is wrong line because one side positive, another side is also positive, this is wrong line. If you draw like this, so these red points are actually misclassified. If you draw the line like this, again the problem. Draw the line like this, above, you can see that negative points are above. In between, not positive, one point is misclassified. Here also, 2 points are misclassified. Those positive points are below this line. So in this case, you cannot draw. So for XR cases, for the cases with the XR, you cannot draw a line. Otherwise, if the things are linearly separable, then you can always find out a decision boundary. Is it clear or not right now? If the things are linearly separable, then you can find out. If the things are not linearly separable, what to do, we will discuss later. So now again a new problem I want to tell you, and I think you can help me into finding out the solution of this particular problem. That my question, again the same question, that design a perceptron for this table. Okay, how can you do that? Again, be with me. So how many input parameters are? 2 parameters. So equation would be something like that, that W0 plus W1 x1 plus W2 x2, this kind of equation. If it is greater than 0, it should be greater than 0 for this case, otherwise it should be less than 0. Make sense? Everybody clear? Yes? Yes? Yeah? Okay. So how to find out these values of W0, W1? So this is, let me just represent this. Let's assume that W0, W1 and W2, these are the parameters. And this is the perceptron that I have. Okay, so let me write the equation. The equation is W0 plus W1 into 0, because it is 0 and 0, into 0 plus W2 into 0 is less than 0. I need this thing. Everybody clear about this? I need this thing. With the first equation, I got this. Okay. This gives me this. Okay. So what is this? It gives me, because of 0 they goes away, so W0 is less than 0. Can you give me any value of W0? Can you give me any value of W0? I can take W0 is equal to -1. So the first equation is satisfied. Make sense? Second, with the 0, 1, it should be 0. Means W0 plus W1, 0. This is the 0 taken. Then W2 into 1 should be less than 0. This is what the equation is, second equation. From this we get this. If you write this equation, it becomes, because of 0, this goes away. So W0 plus W2 is less than 0. So what should be the value of W2? You pick any value. Yeah. Yogini is telling -5. That is also perfectly fine. I am just taking some value. Let's assume that W2 is equal to -half, because the summation of these two should be less than 0. And the W0 is -1 we have taken. So I can take W2 is equal to -1. That's fine. Make sense? Okay, let us see the third equation. 1, 0 is equal to 1. So I put the W0, this here I1, then here 0, then it should be greater than 0. So what happens? Because of 0, this goes away. The equation comes out to be W0 plus W1 should be greater than equal to 0. What is W0? Minus 1. So what should be the value of W1? Can anyone suggest? Can anyone suggest? What should be the value of W1? 2. Yes, any value can be possible. So I can also take 1.5. Let's assume that I take 1.5. That is also fine. Okay. And the third equation comes that 1, 1, 0 means W0 plus this one is less than 0. Means what? Means what? That the W0 plus W1 plus W2 less than 0. So this value should be less than 0. So because of my choices which I have done, it is satisfied. Otherwise I have to do some kind of modification over here. So you got it. You got this value. So using these kind of examples, when the number of examples are actually sufficient to find out the values directly, then you can also use the mathematical variable enumeration methods to find out that what are the weights. But when the number of weights are actually when number of examples are very large, then you have to go ahead to some other methods to find out what is the right way that we have seen just now. So this is what the parameters we have. So this is what the parameter we have. W0, W1, W2 is equal to -1, -1, 1.5. So other possibilities are also there. This is not the single value. There could be other possibilities also. For example, I can tell that -10, and 1 and 15. This is also fine because I can do a linear. I can multiply with any constant, and I can get another number, and that is very much possible. So multiple numbers I can use to multiply. So actually, infinitely many solutions are possible. Make sense? And they are all the parallel lines to this particular line, but even some tilted lines are also sometimes possible, as you have seen into our example. What happened that these items were there and these items were here. So my solution, that my equation was giving this, was this. However, this was also possible. Okay, so in this particular direction, you can say that infinite line could be drawn. In any direction, infinite line can be drawn. So many lines, many possibilities are there. So that's I think this was the last slide for me. So in this particular session, we have discussed that what is perceptron. Okay, it is a linear decision boundary. How to find out what is the parameter for the perceptron? How to find out the perceptron? Provide these parameters for a data and for a data that is given to me. What is the power it has? So hope you understand this and enjoyed this lecture. So if you have any question, please ask. I'm here for next, I think we have 10 minutes more, so we can ask any questions. In the next session, we are going to see that when you are, how we can find out a method, because you know that here sometime error was increasing, sometime it was decreasing, so this was the problem. So what we can do that this kind of behavior should not be there. Only single kind of means smooth decrease into the error should be there. So how can I define the error function in such a way? Okay, so in the next session we are going to see this, and then very important thing, that how can we combine these things to make even larger and bigger thing over there. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending this session.